Abusuya enjoy video about kwana air trend ewo media iso UK soldiers for on PM ewo Ghana na air security ewo media so King Charles na soldiers for on ba Ghana no yes ano na air security na amanfo edin komo air found in this particular video we na me ba bechechi mu na wate ase die nti omo ba Ghana no yes na obetia ase yie aye GH Kwabi media so message so be subscribe na wa share wa like uwie nso don't forget say obeja o comment e wase ho amaye abusuya se eba aye UK soldiers for aye King Charles na soldiers for omepiem e o Ghana no yes eno na ye ba bedi nkomo na die nti omo ba Ghana nyina eye Ghana ye military no sometimes edume bia aye soldiers for ne ba no ma be hwehwe niema aye Ghana for yehia yes on say de adie no ye hyeda nim bebresa nti omo ba no ma be hwe ahobamba e wo se yenya eka ne ye wone ho nti eno na ye King Charles esoma ne nkwala a omo ba ya omo be check bibia no mbedu Ghana 7 days krompona Ghana fo nim se omo bedu eye Ghana ha se aje mpanifo ne ko abusuya ne no na omo ba ye no after se omo check bibia hu se yes bibia eye okay a bibia eye intact no ene saade aje omo de omani echiremu ewo Otumfuo ne nan ase
yebeginam
atwe yewura
yetwe yewura
anyewa bi se na mo ya na sebi mo ya hinu
eno enam se usukura ne yeye o se yegina tenten be do hwebe no yewura huhu nti untime ntrase ye twense
what you know for 2 good hours
aborukura bi de ebo me de ebo na me hu se begina ho ebo me ade kura bi de ebo me ade kura be fa no mabre the bread and I there. You see a bomb ya de kura na me mind. Uni ni kaso a utimi go free bet.
Uni ni gadi go free bet. Na na so we gina for 2 good hours. Ye wura complete. Ye suma santimai. Ye suma santimai.
E be ko so aso. Be ko so aso. Fisa Asante ya Asante.
Ayo, look at here.
Ayo my. Na de meka say ni gisem say yewura onwera Asante man kwa
dru manhia ho e checki bibia e koto eye bibia hu say yes Otumfuo abobra ana omo bom nsam nyina e de mo Otumfuo ni nyina after say mo kodu na Otumfuo entrance because I was say mom e na mo bedru ho ansa na atrance na entrance ansa na mo maba eno no enchirebu enti omo koduru ho egina ho ansa na eye Otumfuo ono nso ebetrance after so Otumfuo etrance ewieye obi ahu say yes why set no eno na eye aslafo am kopie mu ho no edo omanum sem ede tudwa say die ntia ema om bepie mu e wo manhia no.
It's a real privilege as the defence advisor to Ghana, Togo, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire and Burkina Faso to be here on behalf of the British High Commission in Kumasi and at the Royal Palace. I bring with me today a cohort from the Advanced Command and Staff College, Course 28. They have been visiting Ghana to find out where Ghana sits and the importance in the region for Ghana and why it's so important to the United Kingdom. We've had a look at and been privileged to meet ministers. We've met the chiefs of all the 3 services, and we've met the Defence Committee, and we've now had the opportunity to come to Kumasi to meet the General Officer Commanding, General Puku, and have a cultural visit to learn more about the history of the region. We humbly request that Your Majesty is able to give a few words to the students and advice for us as British, and we will listen upon his words and take heed. Thank you very much. And before I respectfully ask for His Majesty to speak, I request that Captain Charlotte Ayem, the lead of the delegation, is able to present a gift to His Majesty.
It's a great honour for us to be here and to receive an audience with yourself. I here represent the Advanced Command and Staff course from the UK Defence Academy, and we have had the privilege of spending a week in Ghana learning so much about the people, the wonderful culture. We have been struck continuously by the generosity and the friendships that we have made this week. We will leave tonight back to the UK and we also have 13 other nations represented with us on our course. We have great knowledge now of your nation. We have wonderful friendships and memories that we will take back to our nations and that will last us a lifetime. Thank you.
I welcome you to Kumasi on this visit. It gladdens my heart to see you here in the palace. And I'm sure they must have taken you to the museum and other places in Kumasi to see where we are. So, looking at you is just like looking at my army officers who are here. So, General over the General Officer Commandant and his people are similarly doing the same things as you do, looking after us, protecting the country, and then to make sure that there's peace within our borders and everything. So we on our part are also making sure that our people live in peace, and therefore trying to make sure that peace evolves everywhere in the part of Ghana. So, you know, Ghana is democratically elected. We elect our leaders and everything, but we need peace to develop. So my duty, together with the traditional authorities, to make sure that there's peace everywhere. And therefore, we make sure that we adjudicate over issues when there are conflicts in communities and everywhere, so that the government would also can have peace to do its developmental work. So that's exactly what we also try to do. We support the government of the day to make sure that, like a development catalyst, so that we make sure that our people have development and then have peace in relation to education, in relation to health. We do as much as possible to complement what the government does. So that Ghana is a peaceful country, democratically electing our presidents. Elections come and go, but fortunately we've been able to sail through all these issues, because if there are any issues, there are elders like us who would also be able to complement it by talking to the politicians to calm down. So, fortunately, when we speak to them, they listen. And therefore, we've been able to move through as it is done. A true example is what happened in December, where we had elections and proper handing over and everything. So, in a nutshell, we live in a peaceful country where the rule of law, constitutionality, the rule of law, it's most important to everybody. Human rights are also very much respected and everything. We are here, the west coast of Africa, and then in the Sahelian, that is where our concerns were. But I believe our soldiers here have been doing the best to maintain our borders and security for us. Recently, there has been some communal skirmishes in the upper top of the range of Ghana, where closer to Burkina Faso. But we are doing every effort to make sure that we have peace in that area. So we couldn't allow for the penetration of terrorism and everything to come in. So fortunately in Ghana, I can assure you that we've been blessed with humility, understanding. Each one is her brother's keeper, and therefore we move on. Tribal wars are not here because we all live. Religious wars are not here because if you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, if you're a traditionalist, you are respected. Everybody accepts that, and we live in harmony and everything. So that is exactly what we are doing. I have confidence in the armed forces. They are doing very well, but they need support also. Equipment and funding and everything. Our funding alone cannot, when they have to go, when we call them up, for example, some of the equipment that they need. So I know Britain is also going through some tighter moments, but you do better than us. So we need the support. The training and everything is one, but the equipment are also some of the things that we require to support them in their training and everything. Joe. We thank you, and I believe strongly that during your tour of Ghana, you've seen so much, you've been told so much, you've gotten to know the history and everything. So we thank you for coming. Joe. And you're always welcome to come to Kumasi anytime that you want. Joe. Thank you very much for this afternoon. Joe.
After so Asantehene Otumfuo edi nkomo edi amane eye bibia ewieye na ebradu se wo so omo kɔ no ɛhɔ ɛna omo panyin baako a ɔno nso odi omo anim echire mu a Otumfuo se yaba wani mu a yentumi enkɔkwa na yesre se ebetumi achia wo de a ma ye kwan abusua ɛhɔ na Otumfuo katwa obu se ekwan ɛda hɔ because mo panyin kura King Charles no ɛba ye no kura mpo no ɔbɛkyia me na se mo nso maba I was say, Mr. Memakwan, now more day, now more chiame.
For this afternoon.
Steve, thank you so much for those words and for which you can reflect on as they travel back on the skies tonight on their way back to their countries. I respectfully ask that each individual has the opportunity to shake your hand and greet you, sir, and have a photograph. Thank you very much, sir.
abusunya wensu ye de endro a etwa gu ye e o Manhyia ahifu achinye ebi edidi bi achi Otumfuo hine ne de abusunya chale enye easy wo hwe de a abrofo ne kra ani je se on be chia Otumfuo no abusunya utumi hu se respect ni wo mu enti se wo kasa tia Otumfuo na wa hwe yie ma wa adwene na enda ho abusunya eha ana mede obesi mesel se obe subscribe na wa share wa like na wa ma afoforo nso atie bi eha sei ene ebedi nkomo na ankasa kete wo se enye dodowo no nwura makra bye bye.